Hi Shannon, hi Jade. I know this video does not find you in great time. Um, where do you begin? Do I feel that in veils I feel very safe to be me? Do I feel safe to share my future vision? No. And those websites have proven it. The other day I was on the Lightworkers website, which you would think, Lightworkers is so fabulous and they get everybody, right? No. I posted something very, to me it was insignificant. I said, wow, I'm feeling a vibration that's kind of weird and what's going on? And the first person that came to me was opposing. Do the math. And the second gentleman said, well, the sun is in transition. I'm like, oh, relief, right? Healing, right? Because on the websites that exist right now, there's no foundation. It's basically like a cradle. It's for the baby callbearers, the ones that have a gift, but they're not sure what should I do. I still believe in the world. Okay, first of all, I believe in the world too. But do I believe the shenanigans that's a big fat lie out there? No way. I've meditated for too long. I have seen vision since I was 5 of horrific things in the future. And having no one to share that with, that was the biggest burden, I think, of all. Not what my family did to me, not the rejection. That took 20 years to get over. But when I felt the greatest in my life was after Katrina. And did I not find truth there that absolutely horrified me about our government? Oh my God. When I came back and told people, why are you giving the Red Cross $50 to reject people? What? I dare say I spent $150 and I thought I did my part. No, you didn't. You didn't do your part. Your part was to go there and hold those people. Sleep on the cement like them. Not get a shower like them. I remember standing up for the Vietnamese there and the prostitutes. And the ministers at the camp where I stayed, where it was safe, when I finally got a bed, which was ground, safe ground, because they scared me to death, they would say, when you get back from coming driving around, will you tell us what God's out there doing? And I wanted to slap them in the face and say, if 2 of you would come out and help me, I could handle more than just there was only 2 of us, me and a girl named Holly Tyson. We drove around in my car. I spent $10,000 in savings just for gas. What could I buy? There was no place to shop. Women would pull up in SUVs in perfect makeup from Texas and hand me money. They didn't know what to do. People don't know what to do with our vision, our gifts. They think our gifts, and I don't mean to say this in a demeaning, demoralizing way, but this is just the way I see it, that we're all running around at nighttime with the fairies in the forest. That was when we took step 1 into call bearing. What's step 20? It's about fighting a fight that's a fight. It's, people like Latoya and the Kellys or the whatever their names are, right? They're the ones, what's the word? They're not even coming in love. Love is something that you must fight for. I've learned that in my lifetime. It's a commitment. When my kids have done wrong, I admonish them, right? The same concept. There's no admonishment. Everybody's there to criticize, but do we function as one with our gifts? No. Are we allowed to share our vision? No. There's too many there that oppose than work together. Should there be another website for warring workers of the light? Yes, better believe it. Because they try to do that on light workers, they combined everybody with each and every little gift. Does it help us? I don't think so. I love this bumper sticker. I'll tell you why. Because there was people that quietly sat in camp when I drove around, sweating my butt off, fighting for a little space for somebody to sleep in. Doesn't seem like that big of a deal, does it? But it's horrible. The way they treated the indigent, the prostitute, race, I've had visions of that. I've had visions of thousands of people going into a mountainside, and each one had an infirmity. And God spoke to me and said, these are not infirmities that are physical only. So I knew right then that I was walking into something that was bigger than I could handle. I needed brothers, sisters, family, people in the body. People in the body that don't tell the foot they're not needed. I'm not saying the barbers of this lifetime aren't needed, but until she wakes up fully and sees the potential of working together and not merely saying to people in the dark, oh, stop, stop. No, you can't say stop to the Latoyas of this world. They don't get it. Stop doesn't stop her. Should she waste our time? It's not a waste of time for me. Because she opposed somebody I love. She opposed somebody that gave me a safe place to be. But I don't want just a safe place to be. I want to create safety for all those that are call bearers, and it needs to be a safe place for the baby, the teenager, and the grown adult in the spiritual world. Do I have friends that travel all over this world just to do things for the world that they've never gotten credit for? Yeah. There's many a light worker I know that doesn't charge one penny for what they do with their gifts. It makes me sick to be on our website sometimes, because they don't stand for anything. This is the analogy I give for the website. It's like a forest with a bunch of berries, and we're all drinking wine and running around without no clothes on. It's fun times, right? And I found a safe place. Well, what if I hadn't stood up for you and Jade? What does that say about me? Or what if I closed my curtains in my house and not see the girl getting raped outside the door, which is what we're coming to, by the way, and I know this, maybe not in my lifetime, but in my daughter's lifetime. What if I just shut the curtain? I can't tell you how many times my husband and my son ran out this door to protect a woman outside, and then she would later spit in their face. But it was the right thing to do. Is spiritual warfare at hand? Yep. Does anybody want to do the work? No. Because they think their silence is peace. They confuse light with darkness. They're blending the line. And that blending of the line is us selling our gifts. My gift tells me, yes, I'm full of peace and full of joy, happiness, but I'm not just in the forest. I'm outside protecting it. Not so callbearers can get together and just piss and moan, or just share the little cute picture. The reality of our future is at hand, not for callbearers, for the whole world. And if they don't think that's going to include a fight, they have another thing coming, because I've seen it in the spiritual world, and it's something very, very, very intense. It's not merely going hungry. It's not merely just fighting against those that oppose us, but it's actual people in the light that are misguided. It's a misguided generation of children with a gift. They think that gift means silence, or that gift is peace. It is peace. That's why we fight for it, to have it. But are my gifts in full use? Not even close. Do I share that gift alone with God many a time with my little dog? Yep. Have I been afflicted physically? Not like you have. Have I been opposed spiritually? Many a time. There's more that will stand and criticize you and say you have an ego going or something like that than you'll have that people... So in other words, you and Jade are fighting, right? But nobody's fighting with you. What crock of bullshit. Forgive my word usage, but there's no other word. Yes, they create a safe place for us, but do you stand behind them? That's what the real thing is about here. Not the fluff, not the forest, not the fairy wings, not fairy dust. Do you actually stand behind what you believe? That is the war. And my visions are straightway dangerous. But, you know, what blows my mind is that we're pallbearers, right? We've been given this gift, and we've been rejected our whole lives. But you know what the bigger rejection is? I think that you go to use your gift and somebody looks at you and questions you. I think that little bit of doubt does more harm than somebody asking a question. When Kelly asked you a question, or asked me, well, she asked you a question, and I said, why do you spread doubt? You should have asked that in private, because then the whole website freaks out. You see? Should we be questioning that? Is she a bad person? Why didn't one of those people think about a clearing for you? Well, why didn't one person think of, you see what I'm saying? Where is their gift? How are they going to use it? You know, I know some biblical terms that are very appropriate for this. First, the hand telling the foot it's not needed. That's one thing that goes on the website. Second, the thing I see the most is doubt. They're children. They're children in the spiritual world. You have to be an adult in the spiritual world. It's a war that is intense. Should we be there? Yeah. But should we be creating unity? Unity is not just telling people what they want to hear, but unity is saying, I'm willing to fight the good fight with you. Count me in. But nobody wants to. They just want to be in the forest, running around, drinking wine and giggling. That's not what it's all about. You've got to protect the forest. And that's every light worker. Unity. All the greatest peaceful people said that. Unification. And we have websites right now, there's no unification. It's just fluff. To me, it's fluff. When I can't perform my gifts on a massive level, then I'm not doing what I was called to do or even born to do. Sometimes it's a hug, and sometimes it's a righteous war. Like Miss LaToya. She gets smaller every day. She's insignificant, walking in the dark, speaking in the light person. That's what she is. Full of self-righteous hate is what she's full of. And yeah, it's going to take somebody real smart to take her down. Who cares? Build a better website. Is there a test you can give people to see if they're working in their gifts? God, no. But the second somebody starts dysfunctionally freaking out, you know, it's like, calm down. You're creating, it's a sin. When you don't fight for the people that are being attacked, that's a sin. To me, it's a horrible sin. Ask Jade. When he was in the Gulf War, did they say, come on Jade, let's meditate together? No. And look how he suffers for it. Because he believed in something. And look at how he pays. Are we not going to pay as pallbearers? Yes. To be unified though? Man, that should be easy. The Rainbow Coalition does it. Bunch of hippies. 5-person council changes all the time. Am I ranting right now? No, I'm mad. I'm mad because I'm sick of the place that we have for ourselves is not a place of healing. It's just with each other. You see, it's safe. It's just with each other. Here's a little picture. Here's a little thing. But do you and Jade have support? There's no way. You have the support that's needed for that unity that we need to fight a fight for people who cannot fight for themselves. That's what it's about. That's what my gift is about. I've seen great visions that I could never share on that website. You know how many opposers I've had? 1 million. Who wants to take the time? Nobody. But if there's something there, I'm the first one in line. I'm the first one to be a warrior priestess. I'm the first one that, standing in the light. I'm the first one that will defend it too. That's my first responsibility. Now, when that's all said and done, we can gather together, break a piece of bread, and drink a glass of wine, I guess. But, it's that fight that you're talking about. It's a spiritual warfare. But they sit in silence. Silence will not protect you. Silence will not protect me. Who's going to stand up for me when I'm being put to trial? Nobody. Oh, just be quiet, they say. And I've heard members say that. Well, just be quiet. Just settle down. Settle down. That's not what it's going to take to get the job done. So I peaceably feel accepted. I'm there. I'm a call bearer. But I'm a call warrior, too. And I'll fight anybody that comes in your direction or mine. Because I fought this whole lifetime. Come on, man. You know how many times I've died? I fought this whole lifetime to be here, to have this gift. And then for it not to be fully actualized, sometimes I get so frustrated. I cry. God, when do we use our gifts? Other light workers don't even care. They're the first ones to oppose you. We don't need the Latoyas of this world, but boy, we don't need to fight with each other. That's craziness to me. Are they real, not real? Were they born in the amniotic sac? Were they not? Did they have a veil on their face? I'm telling you. They'd rather have that argument all day long than talk about the real fight that we're going through. And that's unity. Without unity, there is no fight. So we're just in this space with petty stuff. It's not even big. I'd like to see them defend a prostitute. I did, and I had a whole city fighting me. I'm not better, different. I've met tons of light workers who do this. Tons. So yeah, it's safe and it's easy. Do I wish there was something better? Yeah. I'm sick of it. I'm sick that our plans aren't getting put into action. I'm sick that the core of what we believe in as pallbearers is not firmly stood upon. If you do, you get opposed. And I'm sick of the Latoyas of this lifetime. She's a gadfly, like Socrates. They said, oh, Socrates, you're a gadfly. Get away. You're bugging me with your question. Latoya's already exposed herself. But I'd like to see her stand against 30 callbearers. So will they stand with you? I say not. Too hard. They'd rather be in the forest with the fairies than fairy dust. It's so much simpler. They're tired of fighting. And so am I. But you better, or what you believe in means nothing. So I'm the first one in line with you and Jade. I'm the first one to say it ain't right. And I'm the first one to be just as good at that as warfare as the enemy is to me. I mean, David didn't have a fighting chance, did he? But you better be smarter. Better work harder. I sweat my butt off at Katrina. We were the only 2 people. Can you imagine that in a whole city? 2 girls. 2 girls that knew nothing about Katrina, what happened. We were just out there every day. And people were just sitting around and we were like, what are they doing? I have pictures of it. And mounds of donations. I mean, come on, after the 5th month we didn't need any more toothpaste. They didn't have a place to sleep. They didn't have food. The Red Cross would just drive by. I'd bang on their door, help, help, help me. They kept on going. Police officers having hamburgers and there's people starving. Made no sense whatsoever. I've seen a girl get choked out so bad by a pimp, it broke her trachea and she died right in front of me. And there was nothing I could do. It's those kind of things I'm talking about. It's going to get real hairy out there. And what blows my mind is callbearers don't work together. We better start learning to work together instead of creating doubt. That's what I told that one girl. Don't question on a public website your doubt. take it private and keep a harmony there in front of everyone. Even though there's contentions behind it, we strive to be of one light, one purpose, and one war. And it's a righteous war indeed. And we will all be put to the fire. And that fire will consume you to death. And some won't even make it to the ballpark, let alone hit the ball or get to first base. And I know that's part of my vision too. I know this government. I know them very well. They're not here to support us. But there's more people willing to argue about food stamps. I really care less whether every single person in this world gets a food stamp or not. But I care about the youth, and I care about somebody who says they're my sister and understands my plight, which is that my family rejected me. Big deal. That's not the war. The war that I'm fighting is to how to get my vision out there again, which already got out there once, but I mean on a bigger level, with more people behind me. One in front of me pulling me, and one behind me, and I'm pulling them. Equal tension. But I'm afraid to say that these websites do not contain those types of people. And you and Jade have done something very wonderful. You welcomed, there was a welcome mat, right? And we all got in the door. Now what are we doing? Are we doing anything? No. Their silence, they feel, protects them. When Barbara stood up to LaToya on LaToya's site, she said, knock this off. Calm it down. You know what? That's not my vision. My visions are righteous wars that are fought, and people die spiritually, and people die in the physical. And it is tough to watch. It is tough to contain that vision and have no one to share it. No human being in which you can share your vision. And that person goes like this. Yep, I know. That has been my struggle in this life. Is that the visions I got as a child are coming to pass, and not one person to fight with me. What a horrible thing. What a sick thing. Do I think there should be a website for call bearers, or any of those that walk in the light, but generally call bearers, because we fight a certain kind of fight? And do I think there should be a unification, a meeting of minds, a meeting of spirit, a meeting of souls? The gifting that's being freely given to us, not given out freely. But you and Jade stand by yourself, you see. That's why you're so tired. That's why I had the clearing sent to you, because without clarity, you'll just keep getting attacked by these gadflies. LaToya's a gadfly. Easy. Look how we took her down so easily. Put it together. Put things together. Because we're gifted. We're gifted against those that oppose us with things that are silly in this life. The kinds of things that we face in this world that will come in my daughter's time will be things that are just beyond what the normal, everyday American thinks. I've seen it in vision. I've shared it with 2 people. It's scary. We have no unity. No. Do you have fighters on there? Not that I've seen. Do I see gifts being shared? Not really. A lot of silence. Do I back you up 190%? I'm the first one in line. Do I back Jade up 190%? I'm the first one in line. Do I believe that there's a righteous war going on that we need to fight in the spiritual realm? I'm the first one in line. Do I believe that you need to have weapons of warfare that are going to cause you to become something that's going to be more than just running in the forest with some wine and some berries? You better believe it. So you better be prepared, and you better stop telling the foot it's not needed. You better start becoming unified, and you better start using your gifts to save this world. But you're so busy fighting amongst each other. That's what I've seen at Lightworkers too. They're so busy fighting each other. How is their message getting out? How are we going to get that message to the world? How are our visions going to be righteously stood up for? It's not the passives that are going to get that done. It's the ones that are willing to stand. Ask Jay. The goal for it, you stood, didn't you? we sit there in the own stance, hoping to God everybody just works together. It doesn't work that way. It's a fight. I stand behind you. I don't know. I see what you're saying. The plan is not working. And they should not have just attacked you and Jay. That isn't the way it works. We all take the brunt of that fight. We all take the wounds. We all stand together. We all bandage each other. We all use our gifts. We all use it for a higher purpose, and that's to heal the world, not your neighbor, or not the person in the forest running around with you with fairy dust. Unicorns are not going to get this done. My vision's intense, and I'll record it for you. I'll send it to you. It's intense. It humbled me. It knocked me to my knees. I had no idea. I had no idea what was going on out there until I got out there. And it takes great love, big weapon, hardcore faith, unshakable, and we're straightway dangerous. But they're too busy yik-yakking about something else. I don't know what's going on there. I check it every day. Do I hear any gifts? No. And the one time I get a vibration, I share it. What happened? Some guy came to oppose me. Then another one came and said, oh, the sun's in transition. And I was like, great! Thanks for letting me know. But I had one guy opposing me. What the heck? What are we doing here? I think that's ego-based. I'm like, dude, I'm feeling a vibration for the world. What's going on here? When I'm feeling stuff for the whole planet, it disturbs my being, and I need somebody to tell me it's cool. There's some stuff going on. You're like, okay. That's just one of my mini rants. I could go on with FEMA. I could go on for days. I could tell you things. You could tell me things. The thing is, we're not together to tell each other things. That's what bugs me. Are we call bears united, or are we call bears who separately work until it works for them, and then we share each other's gifts? That makes no sense to me. Our gifts should work together. The hand cannot tell the foot it is not needed. But when everybody's in the baby stage, sucking on a bottle, or a sippy cup like I used to call it, then you don't have the meat that it takes to get the job done. I will investigate LaToya until to the last fragment, because I know she's full of crap. She doesn't scare me in the spiritual world. She's the least of my problems. But should she be stood against, you better believe it. And why everybody on that website did not catch that and did not stand with you makes me nauseous. We are of the light, and that light stands to defend those that are weaker. Period. There is no added clause on there. And Barb was like, knock it off. You are not going to fight a girl like LaToya with a knock it off. I know. I found that out in the streets the hard way. It's the same thing in the spiritual realm. There's a warfare going on at all times. If callbearers don't come together, we're never going to know. If we just stay safe on our little website, and I keep sharing my hummingbird picture, but I wish I had the vision on paper and what it looks like, and saying, how are we going to help the world? The hopeless, helpless, not just weak, but how are we going to use our gifts for the world when we can't even get along with 20 of us? There's the perplexion. And you and Jade have no support. That's why you feel that way. You have no support. You have nobody standing behind you. You have nobody to hold your hand. You have nobody to help you. So you carry the burden yourself. Blows my mind. Makes me sick. But I'm the first one to stand behind you. I've never questioned you or your integrity. You know why? Because when you took me in, I had nowhere to go. I have all my light worker friends here. I have the Rainbow Coalition. I have a lot of things. Beautiful things. Volunteer at World Peace, Peace Corps, go to Sudan. I have all that stuff. But where do I have a place to be a call bearer with my gifts and my vision? Where will those visions go? To each other? We're supposed to help fulfill that vision. We need to be strong enough to do so. You're right. It isn't the physical, temporal world that we're fighting. Illnesses and not having food to eat. It's not. But that is an issue, but it's not the issue. We have a whole generation of young people coming up that will be non-touch healers. That's amazing. How will we... That's besides the point. That's just one of our issues. That's not the 15 million others. That's why LaToya doesn't bug me. She's one little part of darkness. You know what's hard is when we lose faith in each other. What's hard to me is to stand behind you and Jade when everyone sits there silently. Silence never gets you anywhere. Maybe there's times that we need to be in silence to get our vision and our gifting. There's times when I've talked to you and you said, it's for you. Okay. There are those moments. But do I believe in my gift? I've been fighting for that gift my whole life, and now I get to a place and I can't even share that gift. It's doubted by all the people around me, fellow callbearers. We're warriors of the spirit. How are we going to get through that? How are we going to work together? How will we become united? Don't know. So I'm going to continue playing in the forest, you know, blasting myself out. I will stand behind you guys in whatever you want to do. But I think you should have a better website, more refined, with some bigger, more adult-like call bearers. Yeah. These call bearers could not withstand one storm in this world. They withstood the rejection and the family and all that, but they stay there. They don't move past that with their gift. Where will they perform that gift? The gift is not just to encourage each other, it's to fight a holy war. There's something happening out here in this air you cannot see with the naked eye, inside us and fellow light workers. I don't know. I get really, really, really pissed. I can't believe that they think that this gift is for free, that we don't stand together, that we don't fight holy wars, that we don't see the government for who they really are and protect people. What about our homeless? What about our hungry? What about our children? What about everything? What about the world? We should have a collective voice that we've warred for, that we fought for, and that we love. Just like the military does in the United States of America, that's how we need to be as callbearers. Willing to fight as soon as someone stands against each other, and fight against that person and get rid of them and purge them from our group. Personal doubt needs to go private, not out there for everybody, because it triggers everybody's drama. It triggers all their doubts that they had before. Personal stuff that reflects a lot of doubt and insecurity is personal. It's personal between you and another callbearer. Or say they go to Jade, I need your help, or something. No, fine. But don't put your doubt, which breeds doubt, into everybody. Look what happened to Barbara. Every single thing in that vision that I got for that child that was hurt was true, but it wasn't what Barbara wanted to hear. You see? So I have no time for her. Because if you doubt a fellow callbearer, and I mean a true callbearer that is fighting the good fight, not the sick fight, not the bad fight, not the black fight, not the weird, dark, creepy fight, but the good fight, the fight for love, the fight that we belong, the fight that we're out here to have a gift and to help thousands upon thousands. There's not a lot of people that are willing to do that. And we have a job ahead of us. And if we want to unite, we need to all start coming together in this physical realm so we can see each other's gifts and stop doubting them from a distance or through an internet. That's my opinion. That's why I'm sending you this video. Stand in faith, stand proud, stand afflicted, Put your hand behind and I will be there. Put your hand in front of you, I will be there. And we'll have a circle of 3. I did this video 3 times. On the 3rd one, I'm sure it's going to work. My opinion is just one opinion in a massive amount of opinions. But I worked with light workers for years. And they're out there fighting a good fight. A good fight. And they fight for those that are least advantaged. And some of these pallbearers need to grow up and start eating meat and stop drinking off the sippy cup. And we're in a war, and they should stand behind you. Because if you're going to lead the group, then people need to stand behind you. So when you get opposed, you don't feel the vibration of that all the time. You and Jade should have peace and safety. You don't even have peace and safety. And then you're afflicted physically, which to me is our gift. I have the gift of touch. I touch and they're healed. How can I use that gift if I don't ever see you and Jade? How can I use that gift with my other CAUL friends? I'm not. Because they don't want to be united. Because they're so busy in the world, running around and going to Walmart and doing whatever it is they do. Just like me. I do the same thing. But I'm ready, though. That's the difference. I'm ready. Because God has shown me that vision. It is horrifying. It is terrifying. But I'm ready to fight for it, and I die for it. And I especially would die for CAUL. Better believe that. That's what I feel. That's what I think. You have no support. So you better create a space for people to come in with that same concept. That we're not just peaceful, but we're warriors. And we'll fight any good fight that stands in front of us, whether it's a child being hurt or it's governments rising up against the people and taking their freedoms away. I don't care what it is. Fight. Or you're going to go under. Some of these little baby pallbearers need to grow up. And I think that the website right now supports that. And so therefore you and Jade become wary. Who prays for you? Who goes into a sweat lodge and prays until they cry? So you and Jade could do something bigger for all of us to be safe. Not just safe, but to fight. Now that it's coming down to a fight, they're not standing with you. It makes me nauseous. That's how I feel. If people don't like it, tough cookie. Because Andy told me I wouldn't be a part of this group anyway. And I still remain there. I don't know. Maybe it's for the Martins of this life. Come on, me and Martin are friends. That's, unification means a joining, a force, a light, oneness, sameness, all of us fighting for a better cause. Defend the weak. Defend those that cannot defend themselves. Jade knows all about this. And yet the people on the website do not do that. They're very quick to criticize. They're very quick to stand against you. Why would they fight their brothers and sisters? Latoya, she means nothing to me. She's gaslight. Get away. I could fight her. If I invested $1.95, I could fight her so clearly and utterly, she would be defeated. But nobody can defeat a darkness by themselves. All of us together. But see, people are saying it, but their actions are not matching their words. One, not sitting there meditating, not sitting in the forest with a sippy cup, not playing with fairies. We need something bigger than that. It's righteous. People don't believe me, they ain't got to co-sign it. Keep walking. Get to stepping. Because I have a vision of the future that's going to take tough people. People that can withstand a lot. And we got to all grow up. And we got to all stand together. And we need to create a safe place for ourselves or other light workers that want to work with us. And we need to all meet once a year, twice a year, 3 times a year. We should all help each other monetarily. That's what the Rainbow Coalition does. They all help each other. There's nobody that's pushed out of the Rainbow Coalition. There's no one person who runs it. It's all of them unified. John Lennon said it. Martin Luther King said it. They have all said. Gandhi has said it. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. Our websites are great. I love them, and I'm glad you created them. But it's time for everybody to take it up another level and start using those gifts for the betterment of this world and each other. And so we have to be willing to withstand the fire with each other. And if your gift is to see this or that or whatever it is, but we have to withstand test each other. Test each other. Not in horrific, terrifying ways, but test each other within our gifts, with their gifts. And all those gifts work together. And when one of us gets discouraged, why does no one say anything? Except for you and Jay. Well, I've only seen a couple of postings from Jay, but I'm saying, why doesn't anyone ever support you two? That blows my mind. You created the safe place. Now we're supposed to be growing up and fighting the holy war, and nobody's willing to show up to the fight. There you go. That's my answer. And it's sad. It's pathetically sad. If they have the gift of vision as a call bearer, or any light worker, and they've seen what's coming to our future, you better have big love. And that big love better have big fire. And that big fire, it consumes everything. And you better be willing to fight the Latoyas of this world, because she ain't nothing. She's nothing compared to what we're going to have to fight. That's how I feel, and that's who I am, and I love you with all my heart. And I've given because I believe in you. I've given because you're good. Andy told me that was the most beautiful clearing she's ever done. I believe her. And I know that clearing will come true. And time is your enemy. But if we don't all stand together to stand behind you and stand with each other, just like you stood for me, Shannon, many times, when you do that for me, I will always be there for you. I'm a loyal, loyal call bearer, and always will be. Not even till death, far beyond that. We have a war in our hands and nobody wants to fight it. That's my end thing. What should we do now? Something bigger. Something bigger. If we let it run like light workers, all you're going to do is have the naysayers. You don't need no naysayers. People want to perform in your gift. What are you doing today to change the world today? And are you helping each other? No. And nobody wants to stand corrected. When that gentleman stood against me, I said nothing that deserved that criticism. I said, there's some vibration, it feels weird, and what's going on? He was like, I think that's ego-based. I ignored him. Another gentleman came right behind that and said, it's vibrational. Just like you told me when I heard that song, you said it's vibrational. We all need to vibrate as one. And when one of us falls, we need to be there for each other. And they don't get that. And that's what this recording is about. It's about me telling you that you need support. And without that support, we're never going to fight the good war. And without the good war, we're not going to know what it's like to fight for what we believe in. And so our gifts stand unused, sitting and unused, and it becomes old and it becomes stale. And if we don't get the rivers a flowing, ain't nobody going to get healed. And so I stand today, will not accept being a tarot card reader. I will not accept meditating for others. I want the big junk. I want the big junk that I fought for. And that's vision. Vision that something's coming that we all have to stand for. Or you'll die in the fire. I'm ready to stand. You guys want to stand bigger? Let's go. I'll give you every kind of support you're looking for. But we need a collective group of people. And we need to separate them out. It's the cream from the, when you're making butter. Separate it in the milk and the cream rises to the top. We need the cream. Those are your fighters right there. And we need discernment. And that discernment is going to take looking at someone going, oh. And that's why your groups are all separated out in different levels of the internet, because you're putting special people in special groups and trying to separate them. I think we just need to start standing on the website. Do you stand for anything? What is your gifting? Do tell. Pray tell, please. That's how I feel. I love you guys. I support you guys, and that's what I think in totality. Probably a lot more peaceful way to say it, but it's kind of frustrating, you know what I mean? Nobody backs you up. Where's the backup? Waiting, waiting, waiting. So I stand behind you. And I love you both. God bless. I'll meditate in my sweat lodge tonight.